that off a little bit and try to fix these lights. Oh my god, this wiring is driving me nuts. He's gonna fix it when he comes home, but meanwhile, I can't sew like this.
Yeah, my room has to be like bright.
Heck yeah. Let's see if people pop on now. So what I did is I went into my computer and I created a live event for the public. So we shall see. As my lights are flickering like I have a ghost. Yay! Hi! We did it, Monica.
Yay!
All right. So good morning. So if you see the lights flickering and then going off, short wire. But I do have a light on the back. I might put one in the front just in case. Good morning. I just wanted to I've been wanting to go live with Monica forever. She's my bestie. She's super talented and she's extremely busy with her business and being a mom. And I just wanted everyone to see her. And we're both going to be at So Magical. And I just thought, let's do a live together.
It took a little while. We're not the best at technology.
Oh my God, no. I was actually surprised I was able to do this without Hope. I'm just throwing that out there. So, lights flickering, shortage. Kendall's going to fix it tonight. So, me working here, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it because I get frustrated relatively easily when it's sewing. So, not having like any lights. I work in the basement and there's like a small sliver of window. I could bring in the lights I use for filming, but it's just not like there'll be just little spots and there'll still be darkness. It'll drive me nuts. Monica, what's the name of your shop?
So mine is Castine Handcrafted. Castine.
Let me see if I can put a link then.
I know, I'm trying to pull up the comment on my computer. I'm not, like I said, I'm not the best with technology, so I have to like.
Is it weird that I just put CAS and it automatically comes up because it's in my search engine? I'm like, yeah. She sells interfacing, like bomb interfacing, webbing, and zipper tape.
Yes, I'm glad that you love it. But you don't have to worry about us going out. We have kind of learned our lesson from when we were selling out. We're able to order bigger orders. So just over Christmas break, we got like 10,000 yards in. So I think we're gonna be good to go for a while.
Oh, so you said I was able to put in your link. What? Magic. Oh, and I have like a crown, so I don't know what that means. Do you still have a subscription service available, Veronica asked?
I don't, but now that we like have bigger inventory and bigger stock, I'm gonna try to start it back up again. It was just really hard because when I started the subscription, I was still cutting and folding and packaging and interfacing all on my own. Now we get it pre-cut, and so it'll be a lot easier to actually send it out and ship it, because before it was like customized. So yeah, it ended up being like a lot more work. So I'm hoping that's one of my goals this year, is to get back to the subscription.
I would want to be a part. I definitely would do a box opening for you because I love your interfacing. I think you have really unique webbing, and I love the fact the webbing matches the zipper tape, because sometimes I go with very simplistic, no designs on my webbing because I know my zipper tape is not going to match. And
Mhm.
although the consumer might like it like that, it will literally it's like a pimple. You just want to it drives me nuts.
No,
And
I'm the same way, and that's exactly why, like, I made sure that, like, it was gonna match. It was gonna be the same design because, as many know, my videos are really, really long. I nitpick everything. So, like, I know, like, even though it's like just a slight, it could just be a slight difference, it still would just like bother me. It just, I don't know. I'm the same way. So that's why I made sure that I wanted to make sure that also like the webbing wasn't super thin. I wanted a nice thick webbing because I am a bag maker. So a lot of the things that I carry in my shop, they're all things that like I use in my bags, things that I was looking for, like when I was on my bag making journey, I guess, or like, like what I was wishing I had.
my life. I'm telling you, I'm gonna put the other one on the other side. I can't wait till he comes home and fixes the situation because not showing sucks. You can go ahead. I'm just gonna plug in another light.
Yes. So
So there could be some kind of like semblance of balance. Oh, short circuits. There we go. We'll have another light right here. I'll look like I'm in a campfire. What? See? Okay. I'm just, you know what? I'm grateful it happened the last hour of the bag because if it happened before, I probably would have freaked out.
mm.
And yeah, that wouldn't be good. Gonna just put a clip on my hair over here.
I
So
know.
yeah,
I actually thought of you over the weekend because I was out over at Mathael. He had his tryouts, and my like hair was just like kept like it wasn't long enough to like go. So like it was like either I put it too high and then it falls down here, or put it too low. My bangs were, and it was like my hair was like everywhere. And so all I had literally was a glitter clip from like I found it in like my pocket. It was a glitter clip from Lauren's shop, and just like one of those like metal like hair clips, the
mhm.
alligator clips. And so I was like, I guess. And so I just had to stick it. So I literally had like one stick, and I was like, as long as it's not in my face, like, I
Right?
don't like
I
that.
okay, so I always order whatever color Lauren comes out with. I just got the black and emerald, gorgeous, right? But I always buy a pack of alligator clips, and I do use them when I'm doing pockets. Like they're perfect because you can just like slide them off. But most of the time, they end up in my hair holding back something, and so I have like a stack in my bathroom, like of clips that I've used. That I'm like, okay, I need to sanitize these and put them back into the workroom. We do have a question though.
I
Teresa
saw, yeah, I
asked,
was reading that.
yeah. So, do you feel like there's a compromise between your life and your business, being a
Um,
mom and everything?
yes. I have a really hard time with my work life balance. It wasn't, I would say it wasn't so bad like when I was sewing. I mean, I guess also when I was just like selling my handbags, because it does take me a really long time to sew a bag. But I will say now more than ever, like with my like business, I it stresses me out that I have such long like turnaround times, and I want to be able to ship out like as quickly as possible. It's not feasible, especially as a mother to like 5 kids, only two of which are in school, the rest are at home. Um, it was really hard because I always felt like I had to choose between working or spending time with my kids. Now that like it's gotten a little bit easier. Like this year, I'm really trying to make sure that I stick with the schedule. So I work Monday through Fridays, and I don't check my emails on like the weekends. And I take off like the holidays and stuff. And it's hard because I still feel guilty because I'm like, I know that there's these orders, people want them, and I want, you know, my like I know that like my unrealistic expectation for me is like Amazon same day speed, which I know, it's just not, it's not possible, as like a one person doing this business. But it's gotten a little bit better. I hired my mom to watch. She retired, so I have my mom watch the little ones. And so that's kind of helped, like being able to like get some work done, during the day. Um, but it's just like now I have to really work on making sure I be productive, and I'm not like, okay, let me catch up on some sleep because five kids. But yeah, it is a for I guess like especially in the beginning, it really was like I felt like I was never seeing my family.
No, I actually feel the same way. It's got a little bit better because my children are older than yours, so they do go to school. Then this year, all 3 of them, this is the first year. 2022 was the first year that all 3 of them had after school activities. I mean, towards the end, like this fall, so this past fall. So since September, they have after school activities, which they don't get out of all these activities. It's between 3 and 6. So I felt like the month of September and the month of this till now, I've had more time to actually hone my YouTube channel, and I could pop out a bag. I'm a fast sewist, but I'm meticulous with my stitching. Monica knows like Hulk smash should just be like tattooed across my forehead. I'll be like, this shouldn't be happening. So I feel when I have like when I'm bombarded with orders and I know I'm putting myself on a schedule for YouTube and for Patreon, um, I have moments where I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not spending enough times with my kids, husband time to sit down and watch a movie. So what I'm doing now is I'm working between the hours that my kids go to school and well, let's say I'll work from like 9 to 3, and at 3 I do like domestic things like dishes, laundry, vacuuming, washing the puppies, doing all that stuff, and then I'll go get my kids, and then we all eat dinner around 7, and we like if I have an order and I know I need to get out, I'll go back down after that time. But most of the time, I'm just like relaxing with one of the kids and just talking because each one of my kids have very different personalities. Hope
Hmm.
Hope is a very she's the one that does all my graphics. So like, but she also likes musicals, and I'll give you an example. I have promised her since December, since Christmas, they put out Matilda the musical on Netflix. We just watched it on Sunday, so like that's a long time. That's 20 something days of a promise being broken because you're fulfilling other arrangements. By the way, highly recommend it. Fantastic movie. um, but like each one of my kids are just a little bit different. Faith is 17, so she thinks she's grown up. We all remember what it's like at being 17. We know everything, but we know nothing.
Yeah.
Um, and then Ken, he's 10 and he like video games, football, and soccer. So that's all he's thinking about all the time. Oh, and Roblox. So any of you
Oh
guys
my
have
gosh.
oh my
Yeah.
god, I hate Roblox with all my heart. With all my heart, I hate Roblox.
Same.
Like, I think they spend so much of their, like, money because they get okay, so my kids get, like, monthly allowances, but not my grandfather, their Kendall's dad, for every A that they get on the report card, they get, like, 50 to $100. So all my kids are on honor roll, and I feel like it's because of the bribe from my father-in-law. But all that money goes into Roblox. Even my 17-year-old plays it. I got the game out. It is not fun. It is not fun at all.
I do not get it at all. I have my little ones play it. Just two of them right now, um, play it. But like you said, each kid definitely has their own personality, and the same with mine. They all have their own personalities as well. So it is very hard splitting time between all of them. Um, yeah. Um,
I agree with you.
so
So
Terry
there.
said kids are the best part of our lives. Enjoy it. It is,
It
and
is.
it is a big struggle. In the sense that like the newborn phase to me was the easiest phase
God,
for
no,
me.
I didn't get sleep. Hope did not,
It
like, she didn't
was
sleep. She was evil.
what luckily my kids, they slept. But I also, they slept with me. But I'm going through like the pre-adolescent phase, I guess, like, pre-pubescent phase.
Oh God,
Oh my God. It's like,
tweens are the worst. Tweens.
I'm telling you, if I get called bro one more time,
Oh my God, bruh. No, bruh. And I'll be like, who's bruh? Because for all your life, my name has been mom.
my husband's always like, I'm not your bro.
Mm-hmm.
But like, like if we're like, okay, electronic time is over. Bruh, really? I'm like,
Oh no, the new
yeah,
one for
in
Hope,
no
because
time.
Hope is 12. If I'm like, okay, no more electronics for tonight, that's your guys' generation. You guys' generation didn't use as much electronics. I'm like, I count. I have to count in my head before I say something.
Like, and it's right now, it just seems like a struggle,
Oh no, it
But
like
like,
Faith has been. You already know my deal. My situation. Faith has been very troublesome since June, and it's out of her character. We've got professional help. I've been speaking to a therapist, but even with all the trouble, I'm rooting for her. I don't know. I love being around her, even when she has an attitude, because I know she's going to be 18 this year, and then she's going to go to college. And I know when you go to college, you leave the nest, and I'm going to miss her.
yeah.
Fair warning, in a year, like she goes next year, this fall, she'll be a senior. So fair to say September of 2024, I might be a hot mess on YouTube because
Mhm.
Faith is my faith. I
Yeah.
named her that because
But
she's everything to
and
me.
and like I tell you, like I remember when I was that age, and me and my mom, we butt heads. Like obviously, I did everything opposite of what she said, all her advice. But I will say, like when I went off to college and stuff, my mom became my best friend. Like our relationship took a turn. Like it went from like us always arguing, butting heads, like, yes, typical teen girl, disrespectful. But like my mom's my best friend at the end of the day. I call her for everything. My husband absolutely hates it. Like it'll be like something really small, and I'll be like, let me call my mom. Something small happened, and I call my mom, and I just tell her like, hey, today I got a new pair of shoes. Like it's
Yeah.
something so small. And my dad always says like cut the umbilical cord. But yeah,
Yeah.
my mom is my best friend, and so she, um, I'm the only one out of all my siblings that have kids. So all five of them. But I will say it is really nice, like just like you know having that like relationship with my mom, being able to like you know help her, like knowing that she's going to be there for me. Like this past weekend when McKendrick, or not this past weekend, last weekend when McKendrick broke his femur and Maisie was in the hospital the day before. Like I knew that I could call my mom, and she's like, I told my mom like that we think McKendrick broke his leg, and she was like, okay, I'm on my way. So she was already like coming to the house so that she could drop me off at the hospital so I can be with him, because Miko
Hmm.
took it. We only have one car at the moment, so yeah. So I know like you've been like struggling, and I like always tell you when she goes off, it's gonna be totally different, because
Oh yeah.
you're kind of like, you remind me a lot like my mom, where I thought I knew what was best for me when really I didn't. And me going off to college, really, like I said,
Oh
I'm
my,
blaming
she
my mom.
asked me, okay, so I don't know if there's any other curly heads other than me and Monica in the group, but our wash schedule of hair is completely different than somebody else's hair that's straight. So on Sunday is a big on our house because we do all of each other's hair, deep conditioning, scalp treatments. Hi from Puerto Rico, we do all that, right? So Faith has been doing her own hair since she was 14. on Sunday, she was like, "Hey, mom, can you do my hair?" Like, as I'm doing her hair, I'm crying hysterically because it's been like 4 years since I did her hair. And Kendall was like, I was gonna take a picture of this, but I have mixed feelings because I'm uncomfortable. And he walks away. It's a whole thing because like my son Kendall, my husband, Kendall Jr. and Ken is actually Kendall Jr. Kendall like shaves his head and like does his haircut and like line him up and edge him up on Sundays in this house is like everyone does their hair. And she was like, Mom, she's like, I am just not liking my hair it's not protected. The ends are really dry. Can you do my hair? As I'm doing her hair, I'm crying. And like Hope is like filming it. She's like, I'm gonna put this on YouTube. I'm like, okay.
Of course, Hope.
Each one of my kids literally remind me of Bob Burger's characters. Like Faith is 100% Tina. Like boys, weird music, and just super awkward. And she kind of runs like her, but she runs fast. Hope is 100% Louise. Like, like Hope is 100, and like Kendall is like I forgot the son's name.
Oh, oh my gosh. Don't put me on the spot. I can't. I don't do good on the spot. Now I can't. Gene.
Like is like Gene. The only difference is here's the difference. We don't drink really in this house. I drink like New Year's or if other people are around. Me and Kendall are opposite characters. He's more like the mom, and I'm like the dad. And I literally, the kids are like, we could play a game of how many times you say, "Oh my god," and I was like, "Oh my god."
Yeah, that's how
And
me and my husband were opposites too.
yeah, he's like more relaxed or whatever. But yeah, Faith, I have way too many curls. Yeah, Julie, we understand. We
All my boys are growing their hair out, and each of them, my boys, I guess, well, Maisie, but she's still little, so she doesn't have curls yet. She has little wispies on the right where her ears are at, but all my boys have different different hair textures, and different curls. Like my husband's curls, they're a little bit smaller but very
they're
thin.
perfect.
Yeah, and then
Guys.
MJ's hair is so beautiful. My oldest, I love his hair. His shrinkage, like his hair is all the way to his like the middle of his back, but like when you like after you like I washed his hair or whatever, and brushed it out,
It
it's like it
shrinks. Yeah.
comes up to here. Like it's just, but his
Shrinkage
hair
is
is all the way
real.
to the back. His shrinkage, yeah, and he has very tight curls. My second oldest, Mateo, literally has what is it? Shirley Temple curls,
Yeah.
like ringlets, and then Merrick has like his like grows weird. It's like a fro, and but they're really tight too. But they're small, but they're defined. And then McKendrick, his hair is wild. He has really big curls, so they're just so unruly, and his hair is very thin, so they come apart easily. So then it's just like he looks like a troll by the end of the day. So
My curl pattern's tighter than both my daughters, which is infuriating. But Hope has the same thing as me. My hair is extremely long. If I was to wear a flat iron, you would be like, "What?" My shrinkage is real. Like I don't know what it is. Shrinkage is real. Hope has the same thing. She has a lot of hair. Faith has very heavy hair, and she has like these Bonicelli big curls. And she is the definition of I could take a shower, walk out, and not do anything to my hair, and it will look fabulous. So I secretly hate her for that. And then Kendall, my husband, has the most beautiful curls ever. And same with my son. And I'm like, why do guys always get the long eyelashes and the best curls?
yes, all
Yeah.
my older boys have, or all my boys have really long like eyelashes, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I have
Hope
like
is the only
none.
one.
Like I don't have any.
I have
And
eyelashes as
like
soon as I
they're
like
not,
do.
they're not very like they're not dark or anything. They're really like light, so it doesn't look like I have anything. Plus, it doesn't help that I have like frog eyes, I guess. Like hooded eyes, like like my eyes kind of pop, like.
I don't
So I have to put on like mascara to make it look like I didn't pick out my eyelashes. So
Yes, so Terry's 100%. Yes, and I think that's what's going to happen to Faith. I mention to her all the time that we all have moments as adults that when we have a flashback of our childhood of us doing something wrong to our parents, we're like, oh my God, why did I do that? I have those flashbacks all the time with my mom because we all know, I don't know a person that was 16 or 17 that didn't know they pretend like they knew the world, that absolutely 100% knew the world. And you're like, you don't even know how to write a check.
right? Oh my gosh, I can't like I'm like I remember like I'm like I want to be grown. I'm ready. And now I'm like, can I go back to high school? You know, like
Can I
when
be
I
a kid
like
again?
all my worries was only just making
Or
sure I made
having
the grade,
summers free, having
right?
summers completely free, not working, not having any responsibility, just having free summers. I was
Right?
like, I told Faith, I was like, you need to enjoy this summer because after that, you'll be working because you're in college. You want that extra money. You need that extra money. You're going to be working. And I was like, once you start, the day that you start work, you're going to understand how much free time you had sleeping in and all that. Treasure that because it
Yeah.
sucks.
Yeah.
I know.
I
I get what you're saying. So Terry, I totally get what you're saying. I have weird flashbacks. Me and my mom have a very interesting relationship. I think she's a very strong and loving and has the biggest heart I've ever seen in my life. But for some odd reason, our personalities are like oil and water. Like we're just two different people. And I I I'm a person that's used to speaking candidly. If I have to walk around on eggshells with you, somehow, some way you think I don't like you. And it's not that. It's just that I know I have to reserve myself to not hurt your feelings by speaking my truths. So we don't have the relationship that we used to. But I love her. I still call her on all holidays and I'll message her every other day. But it's just we we have always bumped heads. Like even as becoming a mom, I thought maybe me and her will have a closer relationship. There when we're on. Like we're awesome, but every little mannerism or things I do drives her absolutely nuts. So I had a really great relationship with my abuelita. I miss her every day. And there was moments that I did things that I was like, I can't believe I did that to my abuelita. But she understood it good. She got it. And then before she died, I did say, I'm sorry for anything that I hurt, that you're like, you are the most important person in my life. And yeah, you do that. And I mean, I think about things I've said 5 years ago. I'm like, why did I say that? Like, why? Yes.
yes,
And then
Teresa.
yes. And then I don't know if any they're Supernatural fans, but my favorite quote from Supernatural is from Bobby that family doesn't begin and end in blood. Family is sometimes people you create. They're people that you get to pick in your life. Like Monica has heard the worst of me and the best of me. She's seen me cry. Like I don't think of just the bestie. I think of Monica as family.
Hmm.
And my daughter's her daughter's goddaughter.
Yes. It's oh my gosh, hope.
And she won't let that go. You
I
really got
still
to work out some kind of paperwork for
I know she's
Texas. I'm
still
just
waiting to sign it. Yes, I totally agree. Like, Minnie may not know. I mean, Shanova obviously knows, but Minnie may not know. Like, the reason why I kind of like disappeared for a while, like this past year after I had Maisie and stuff like that, was I had really bad postpartum depression. Like, really, really bad. It took it took a lot of spoons. It took up most of my spoons to wake up. It took any of like any spoon, like last spoon I had to talk to anyone. Like I just wasn't very like social. I tried to hide it for a long time. Um, try to pretend like I was okay because, I didn't have anything traumatic happen with Maisie. After four boys, I was finally getting a girl. Like I was I was supposed to be happy, but I, was just not myself. So that's why I kind of haven't been, active, and I'm still trying to get back into the rhythm. But like I said, with working and stuff like that, like I had to work and getting orders out takes that always ends up being my top priority to like anything else, including, you know, even if it takes most of me, which I know many wouldn't like, would be like, I have so many like amazing supporters and stuff who like, are say like take care of yourself and stuff like that. But like the way my anxiety is, it's just, but yeah, you know, you are the main one that helped me through all that. Like like you checked on me every day, even though like I wasn't like, there present conversation wise. And you stuck by me and you're still here. So
Yeah, I peer pressured her for about 3 months to do this, just so you guys no, I know Monica, I know she was gonna be able to work out of the postpartum depression. I had postpartum depression after I had Faith, and a little bit after I had my son, but with my son, there were medical issues that happened afterwards, like, my body completely shut down. And so I automatically felt that I was like being a bad mom to a newborn because I'm like in a hospital with all these tubes in me and I didn't know. So once I got out of the hospital, I got kind of more into the swing of things. Um, but no one wants to ever talk about that postpartum depression, and I don't understand why. It's a very real thing, and there are people that have it for years,
yeah, and
years.
it becomes full blown, um, it becomes full blown depression. And that happened to me, when I had Mateo, I had postpartum depression. And I felt like like I didn't connect with him as much as I do, though he is like, I am like so protective of him out of, all my
Mhm.
children. Um, and I think that a lot of it is just me, overcompensating from like his baby years from not being there. But like I didn't seek help for a long time. And I didn't tell my husband, I didn't tell anybody. And I was like absolutely miserable. And so whenever I ended up started feeling like this with Maisie, I did go and seek help right away. But with that, it takes a lot of time to, you know, get the right medication. And I'm just to the point where I finally got to the right dosage that it's like, I'm not anxious. I'm able to be a lot more productive. I'm not shutting down. And so, but it was a really, really hard struggle, at least like the first, like, 6 months for sure. And then, but it was it is hard, and it is very taboo to talk about it. And I think that's why like a lot of moms don't want to talk about it, because people and society have have and have having a baby is the greatest blessing ever. So for new moms to like have this, um or any moms to have this feeling of like sadness and stuff, you have outside, you know I guess outside opinions. I don't know how to like say it.
There is no, there is. There are people that will judge. There always it's with anything in life. And one thing I'm recognizing on YouTube, everybody has an opinion, and it's not sometimes always the best opinion or the always the nicest things, because it just you gotta take everything with a grain of salt. And honestly, you gotta pretend. I pretend it doesn't hurt, but deep down inside, like if there's like a negative comment, it like plagues me. Like, what can I do to do better? And so I know when I had postpartum, there was somebody close to me that was like, "That doesn't exist. You're just being a lazy mom." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try harder." And then I went home and I cried in a pillow. That's Tennessee. So no, I don't like
Yeah,
people watching me cry.
to
um,
be honest with you, like I'm very open. I'm very transparent regardless. Like I'm very open with how I like, I share a lot of my life. I share a lot
mhm.
of like, my, I guess what should be private, my kids, my family, like my, my, where I'm at mentally. I share a lot of that, and I share it so that others know that they're not alone.
Yes.
That
Well, I
like
tell you that all the
you
time.
can
That I
be, you can still do the things you love, and and like work through it. I went through therapy. I'm on medication. I do have ADHD, and I mean it is a struggle every day to be where I'm at right now. But like it was also, it's a lot of work, and it's really a lot of just having this community that I have, with my followers and stuff. My sewing community, just like, telling me it's okay. My husband helping me. Um, but yeah, I'm really open in the sense that like I want others to know that you don't have to be ashamed. You
Yeah.
can still be amazing with these struggles.
Yes.
Exactly what Julie said.
Yes.
I'm not really good with
Normalizing.
words.
Yeah, normalizing
Normalizing.
human yes is a struggle time and time again. So this, I tell Monica all the time. One of the attributes I love her as on a YouTuber or a sewing influencer is that she is transparent. I'm not as transparent with my life, so I always feel like people are not connecting with me because I don't open up 100%. When she started talking about postpartum and stuff like that, I told her to tell people on YouTube, and I'll give you the reason why. There's a lot of sewing influencers that are now, when I really pay attention to them, they're opening up about what they're feeling or what they're going through. Like Jess, I cannot help but watch her videos so much since December because I was concerned, because you could tell in her face that she was sad, and it made me like relate to her on so many levels. And you can see she's progressively getting better. She's speaking about mental health, speaking about therapy, and that's huge. Another sewing influence, Lauren took a comment that obviously hurt her and created into a shirt to show people that it's okay to have messy, unprofessional nails. But for me to look at her as like a sewing influencer and thinking, oh, everyone loves her, she's doing amazing, she's gonna grow, da da. For her to take one comment and that means she really is reading our comments, and it hurt. It had to hurt. And then I realized that it's okay for me to have a bad day. It's okay for me to feel hurt if someone says something, because these people that are doing it in the business are having the same feelings, thoughts, and emotions. And because
Mhm.
I felt like I would have to just, okay, I'm sorry that this video is not like the way you want it. I'm sorry about the lighting. I'll work on it. I felt like I have to overcompensate, apologize, and just suck in the pain. And watching Jess, watching Lauren, even Brandy had to not make videos for a while because she got COVID and she had a high fever. Being that transparent makes you look human,
Mhm.
and people then can relate to you.
Yep.
No,
I am going to have to take y'all on a stroll to go grab a charger for my phone, because
yeah, you're right. You have to like take in the good with and take the bad.
I know
That
maybe.
Maisie?
Yeah, her and my mom are playing. Well, because since McKendrick, broke his leg, she's coming here now to like watch them.
Mhm.
Now
I'm
I'm.
totally free. When you said that I think Mackenzie's leg was broken, you can ask Kendall. He thinks I wore
No,
a
I don't.
hole in our hallway because I kept walking back and forth because I literally had anxiety. I was like, please let it just be like a bad muscle, like he sprained a muscle and or something. Please let it be something simple. When I seen him in the cast, I literally had secondhand anxiety and cried because I was like, she has to be going through so much right now. So
Yeah,
much.
it was. Oh, he is my accident prone child, but like that's not what I was really expecting for him to like do at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
With Maisie, like she's had, intussusception quite a few times. It's her third time. So, it's something that we knew already. It was something that we didn't like, it wasn't anything new, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it was, we knew as soon
That
as,
still
as
freaks
we
me
knew.
out because I didn't you say after so many times that she might have to go into surgery if she keeps having it before 3?
Um, well, I don't know. Well, they just said, I mean, no, unless like, it perforates her, they can't, the air enema doesn't work anymore. But since when they do the reduction and it works, they didn't really. I mean, this time, since it's the third time, they did refer her to a gastrointestinal
A specialist,
specialist. Yeah, to kind of see, like, to make sure that there's nothing causing it besides, like,
like
it just
not a
getting the lymph
blockage or
nodes.
something.
Yeah. So we're doing that, and then the whole like McKendrick thing. But yeah, um,
Yeah, that freaked me out because at that age, kids are like running around rampant.
and
So
he's my most active. So
yeah,
like this has been like killing him, like being able to sit down. But though it kind of like,
he's also your
me and my
nudist.
husband, when we left the hospital, we're like, now McKendrick is not going to be able to get into everything, because he does get into everything.
Yeah, he's really talented with that. He's also your
Yeah,
nudist.
he
Um,
is my nudist. Oh my gosh, he doesn't ever wear clothes, and so I knew he broke his leg because
correct, Julie.
I couldn't put
Correct.
clothes on him. I could not put clothes on him. And so we had to take him to the ER naked. And we kept having to say, I'm sorry, but he's naked. Um, so yeah, he didn't have any clothes on. And I was like, he's our nudist. I don't know what to tell you, but like,
It's a phase. It may be a phase. It may not be a phase. It just will get better. Maybe he'll just be the kid with the the shorts on
it's
around
not
walking around
a
the house.
phase. Like for the longest time, I put clothes on him, and he literally takes them off. Like the first time he goes to the bathroom for like the day, and I'm like, why? And like he
Holy.
will go play outside and like get in a pot. Like when I have like this picture of him, and he was in the backyard in this like big old flower pot we had. And he was just putting like leaves all over him, and I was like, he looked like a little Cabbage Patch Kid, like a
So
Cabbage
Terry,
Patch stuff.
did you see So Terry's? Literally, I want you to know right now, I probably would have been hospitalized if someone said that to me in the hospital.
Let's see, I'm looking.
Kendall had Ken had meningitis when he was 4, and I didn't know. So one of the clues, other than a high temperature, is the kid like is trying to shake their head because they don't know how to say that their head hurts. He was in the hospital for like a week, and then he still had the tick of shaking his head for like a year, and they were like, it might be a permanent tick. For like a year of my life, I think my hair fell out. I would break out in acne. I would have like rant when he was asleep. I would have panic attacks and go into his room and check that he was breathing. Meningitis scared the living daylights out of me.
Yeah.
It was that. Luckily, it was viral, not bacteria. So like, even though no one there was one other person in the school that got it. They're like, "Thank you for calling." I'm like, that shouldn't be a thank you. That should be just like, I'm a parent. And
Common
I'm gonna
knowledge.
my kid has COVID. So can you let the kids in the other class know, or like, my kid has meningitis. Can you know? Um, yeah, I'm really weird about that because I have my mother-in-law she had cancer, and I have family members that have had cancer, and their immune system is not the same as it was before. So if something happens like meningitis, or remember how I was stressed out, I got shingles. I had shingles on my head for 8 weeks, guys.
Oh
8
yeah, that was.
weeks.
I remember that you
They
were.
were they were like, we can't shave your head, but we could see you have shingles just on the left side of your head going down your neck. I'm like, yeah. It, that was some pain because I deal with migraines. I have migraines on a regular basis. That was a whole different level of pain. Yeah. Okay. See, the thing, this is a weird, fun story. So, like, me and my brother, I have two brothers and a sister. I'm the oldest. We never, when they had chicken pox, all three of them had chicken pox. I never got chicken pox. My mom took me to get tested and everything. Like, no, she doesn't have chicken pox, right? Fast forward, when I had to get a surgery, they knew I was going to do a C-section with Hope. They wanted to do all blood checkup to make sure everything was okay, because my mom and my sister are part of the factor 4. They have a blood clotting issue. I don't have that. I don't have it, but I always have to get checked. So when the lady did my blood, she was like, I've never seen anyone that never had like herpes zootex or whatever for chickenpox before. I was like, I never had the chickenpox, but I was around it. It was last year, right? When I got the shingles, I was stressing out about YouTube and testing and dealing with issues with faith. I woke up one morning and I woke up and I was holding my head and I was screaming on one side, and then Kendall rushes me to the ER and they're like, "You're way too young to have shingles. Have you ever had the chickenpox?" I was like, "No." So they did this whole blood panel, and again, it shows that I never had chickenpox.
That's
But
crazy.
my brother my brother who's younger than me has been getting shingles since he's 20 every other year. He's on medication for his entire life to prevent it. Like he has to take these antiviral medicines every single day not to get chickenpox. But yes, on my head.
My grandpa's the same way. He stresses himself out, and he ends up getting, shingles and stuff.
That's not, like so now I try not to stress. I'm like, let's play a hidden suppression game. I don't know what to do.
So Terry said it's better to focus on the joys of parenthood and the joys of loving them, and I totally agree.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why, like, I wish I could share a lot of like pictures of like McKendrick because you know, he is our like class clown of the family, pretty much. I
And
guess
we
like
got a
he
video of
motivates
him
us.
butt naked and you in the background. Was that Lola?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like, I can't tell you how many times, and he just comes in and is like, "Hey," and I'm like, "You don't have any clothes on." Walks down in the front yard, to help carry groceries. I'm like, "McKendrick, you don't have any clothes on. Go get
just
chones."
just put on some pants. That's what-
No, he won't. He refuses. He's just like, "Why? Why can't I not just be natural?" And I'm
yeah.
like, but
It's hard to
he's always
explain.
been I s like and, it wasn't so bad because when he was, like, little, wore a diaper and stuff, so, like, he didn't really take that off, but he didn't wear clothes.
Mhm.
Except for when he went outside, he would take his diaper off and then, play
I'm
outside
free.
wild. But potty training and stuff, it's made it a lot worse. He just refuses to, and now he can take off his own clothes. So I put
Mhm.
clothes on him, he takes them off, and I'm like, "Really, dude?" But yeah, he is, and so like he does a lot of funny things, and so like when I go through my phone and I'm like, I can't post any happy birthday pictures because you're naked in half of them.
Oh my god, yeah. No, I want to post my kids are weird, but I'm weird and quirky. So like I would there's this like cute seen on Instagram where these dogs, they're puppies and they were biting each other. One dog was kept biting all the other dogs on the neck. And I'm like, oh, this is so cute. But this reminds me of Hopi. And Kindle's like, why? I start busting out pictures for like a year. Hope bites or not really bites because the dog's not whimpery, but she bites his cheeks or bites his neck and they fight like this. This dog weighs 150
Oh my
pounds
gosh,
and
that's
he just
hilarious.
takes it and just, or like she'll lay on him like he's a bed, and I'm like, if you try to ride him like a horse, we're gonna have words. But like she literally wrestles with this dog. And I call Hope small fries because she's in seventh grade, going to be in eighth grade, and she's not even 5 feet tall. So I'm like, what's up, small fries? And like she's so tiny, but she has like Napoleon syndrome, like nobody I've ever met before. Cause like I secretly think she could take down everybody in this house in one night if she wanted to.
That's how my youngest is, or my not my youngest daughter, but my youngest son, McKendrick. He's the same way. Like he's has a very big personality, and he's very confident in himself, and that like he can do a lot of things. Which is why he is my accident prone child. Like on Mother's Day, he fell downstairs, like the porch stairs, and knocked out a tooth.
Yeah. All my kids are a little bit klutzy because of me. Kendall's not. Kendall's like he's super graceful. Like he could walk on ice and make it look like you could walk on it, and then I'll bust my face open when I walk on it. I am so accident prone. I have fallen going up the stairs at least like 20 times. No joke. Okay.
Yes, my a short middle child is guaranteed to be fearless. That is my son. Um,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, McKendrick. Well, McKendrick.
Yeah.
Literally,
I think well, each kid is different. So okay. You have three or four. You have five industrial machines, right? Five. By count.
um, like that you can sew on.
Well, yeah, total.
Um, one, two, three, four, yeah, five.
All right. What is your favorite machine?
That's a hard one.
You gotta pick one. You gotta. It's. I understand they're like your child. You ask me, I'll tell you what I'm doing.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to say my 5150. Oh, 1541. Oh my god, I don't even know what I have.
The 1541
That's the
Thor.
one I mainly sew on now, so I would have to say that's probably my favorite. But you
What's your
know,
favorite material to sew with?
and I sew
If
with
you
everything.
okay, no, if somebody was like, "Hey, I'll grant you a never-ending supply of this one material to sew
No,
with," you
leather.
either leather, okay. What's your favorite thread? Is it Tex 70, Tex 90?
Tech 70. You know, I
Okay.
had that one problem with Tech 90, and I refuse to touch it anymore. Like I'm like,
You're
no.
you're no,
I was
when she
reorganizing my thread, and I had the rainbow 90, and I was just like side eyeing it. I was like,
she has the Juki 8700. So when she would do the tutorials in Swoon, she would use 70 weight thread. My machine, the 5550, there's like sisters. It hates Tech 70 with a passion.
well,
Like
no,
I tried so
I
many
have the
times.
5550.
Oh, you have yeah, you have the same
I have I have the older one. I have the
okay.
gray. It's like the gray kind
Oh
of.
yes, I
It's
like
not the
that
white one.
color too. But why are you able to use like I think each machine's different. My favorite
Yeah,
machine,
each machine has its own personality. I'm telling you, when I first got the 5550, we butt heads. I was like, we were not friends. And then, we became friends. I would have to say probably maybe she's my favorite, which is why I can't get rid of her. And I don't really use her as much, but like, you know, I also just like I I'm sentimental with all my machines, which is why I can't get rid of
they're
any of
like
them.
they're
And you're
like
like, this
kids.
sells that.
You had words, she had words, so you understand. Yeah. The 1541 as I try to explain to people because I hear a lot of people having frustration with that one. That machine, that's why you hear me say you need to play around with your machine and find your rhythm. Um, I I I will make quilt
Yep.
before I make do any tutorials. I always make a quilt sandwich, and I'll just sit there and feel the rhythm of the machine. I will also open it up, make sure all the gears are oiled or greased because little things can just mess it up. I'll clean up underneath the feed dogs, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, I agree. I Everyone always asks like, they're scared of the machines. I think I learned that with my first machine with the 5550 was because when I got the 5550, it had a clutch. I bought it pre-owned and it had a clutch motor on it. And I swapped it out for the servo motor. And so I had to, get underneath there and like get that all situated. And then, finding the right tension for the Tech 70 thread and then the like smaller thread because I was making clothing as well. And so I think that the whole reason why I was so comfortable with this because I knew how to like turn the tension and everything. And so that's kind of what I did when I got my 1541 is I completely threw out the tension on that one. Like so I had
But
to like completely start over. Oh yeah, I get it. I'm like I'm turning knobs I probably shouldn't be turning. And I'm like, why are you acting like you know what you're doing? I'm
I
like,
think that's a part of learning
but
your
then
machine, though.
exactly, and then you get it back to where it is. So then you're not like it's like, oh well, I got it back to where it's at. Like then I feel like I can do anything. Like when I'm sewing and stuff, like you'll hear I do touch the dial a lot at the top, and then sometimes I switch between like if I'm like sewing like cotton, I know how to like turn my machine down so that it won't like eat up the cotton on my 1541. But like I said, each machine has its own temperament. Sometimes it just won't like the
Yeah,
cotton.
I think with the machine, each project can have its own temperament. Some formulas like having two pieces of vinyl and having foam may not be the thing. It could be one piece of vinyl, foam, and cotton or waterproof canvas. I'm a firm believer in making a sample sandwich because I I pay attention to the little things. Like I had someone laughing because I was saying the Rocketeer, the stitches are perfect, but they're at a slight angle going down. And then somebody else hopped in on that live and was like, "My Rocketeer does that. That's what all Rocketeers do." And it was the weirdest thing because this is what I noticed is how the stitches are uniformed. So that's why I always make a sandwich because I, that's the first thing I pay attention on a bag.
That is,
The
and that is really true because whenever I'm like telling you, like, oh my gosh, my machine is like really making me mad, you're like, did you do a sandwich? Did you?
like
And
everyone's
I'm
like,
like, no. Okay, I'm gonna go. And like you said, I have that. Remember, I had that issue with my 15 or my 5550. It was tearing the vinyl, and like no matter what I did, like dial wise, it wasn't working. It ended up just being something so simple. The feed dogs. The feed
yeah,
dogs had a nick, and it was so like it would like chew up, or it was leaving those feet marks, and it was like chewing up the
yeah.
vinyl. And it really was. And once I ordered new feed dogs, put it in, it was
Well, that
like back to
you
that.
also have a me and you both have our separate but educated industrial people who sold us machines. So, like, if you have a problem, you can go to Bob and Boy, and if I have a problem, I go to Gold Star, Steve from Gold Star. No, Gold Sewing Gold. Yeah, sorry, not Gold Star, not Gold Star. From Steve from Sewing Gold. I got all my machines from him, and if something goes wrong, I can call him and he'll walk me through. He has walked me through, and then one time I got frustrated. I was like, "Can I have my husband do it?" They did like a FaceTime, and they figured it out. Having somebody where you buy your machines from, or even your domestic, having it serviced, find someone that's a good dealer that service your machine. So if you have a problem, they can fix timing. They could teach you how to switch out your own feed dogs. They could teach you so much. And if you have a Juki, what is it? A Juki, the Juki QVP Mini, the customer service department, I believe his name is Nick, who's the person. They're in Florida. They're amazing. There's so many cool warranties on those minis. You could send your machine. They will send you a UPS label. Keep your boxes. Keep your boxes. You ship the box to them. They'll repair it and they'll ship it back at no cost. So
Mhm.
I'm a person that say go to a dealer and get something because chances are there's going to be some time, whether it be a year or 2 years from now, that you're gonna be like, "What did I do wrong?" And having that person to speak to helps tremendously. Like, everyone's seen hopefully everybody's seen Lauren and Caleb at, Sunny Sewing. He is very responsive. Monica knows him very well. So,
Yeah, I do.
you just
I
need
bought a
to
lot of machines from him.
yeah, so
Yeah.
having someone that you go to, like, I love my brothers. I love my brother, 1600. I use it for embroidery a lot, and sometimes if I'm making clothes, I'll use it. But the closest Brothers sewing machine place near me is over 100 miles away. So I use the machine sparingly. I clean it often. It's not like you stick an air blaster in it because it's all computerized. Is a problem. But my Bernina, because it's all like metal, and it's like the old one from like the 1991 101. I use that machine for everything. That's the one I actually want to take to So Magical. That machine weighs like a lot. It weighs a lot. Like, to the point, like, if I ask Ken to bring it to me, he's holding it with two hands and he's going back. that's my that's what I'm gonna be using when I do the live. I'm either using that or my 5550 to base all the stuff for the packets for So
Oh, I
Magical.
need to. I need to start prepping for my So Magical. But
Good.
I'm still like I still am trying to work on this my workroom. So it's been throwing everything off. I'm really hoping. Okay, I'm like this week. This week I'm going to like hope that I can like get it completed, put everything where it needs to go because I still have inventory I need to count.
Yeah.
And I have
Mhm.
two rooms. I because my kids they have their own rooms, but they sleep in my room. So I'm like, well, you're not using your rooms. So I just I, all the interfacing is in there. They can use the bed, but they still choose not to. And my oldest has a king size bed, and we're like, if we give you our old king size bed, because we got a new sleep number, we're like, do you promise you'll sleep in your room? He's like, yeah.
Sure,
No,
mom.
no.
No.
I mean, literally, we'll get a blanket and pillow and just lay on the floor in our room, and I'm like, I absolutely it like drives me up the wall because I'm like,
Yeah, but you're gonna
stop
miss
sleeping
it,
on the
like,
floor, sleep on a bed.
you're gonna miss it when 5 years from now, he's always in your room. You're like, "Get out of your room and spend some time with us."
I'm probably just gonna be used to it because they're always in my room. Like,
I like, Faith was like that. Faith was like a cuddle sleeper crawling into our bed till 7, and now trying to get her out of the room is like pulling teeth, like, 'cause they're doing their own thing. As soon as
yeah,
they get a social life that's not around their siblings and their parents, it's over.
I'm still waiting for that because he has a social life and he's still like, it's funny because he'll go and spend the night at his friend's house and sleep over there, not in their, like, in the room with his friends, but comes back home and still wants to sleep on the, like, on, we have 3 crib mattresses from, like, old cribs that we just stack against the wall. So when it's time for bed, they just pull it out and they just, sleep where they want to sleep. And so he just prefers to sleep on the crib mattress. And at this point, I'm just like, you know what? You're sleeping on a bed and not the
Yeah.
floor. So I guess
It's like that.
win-win for
Ken,
us.
Ken sleeps with a nightlight, but when he goes over to Grandpa's house to hang out with his cousin, and when they're asleep, it's pitch black, and he doesn't need a nightlight. I'm like, wow.
My kids, so like if they, Ruben, like my oldest, not my second oldest, he sleeps in his room for the most part. Um, but his light has to be on, like his, bedroom light. But yet when if he sleeps in our room, it's pitch black. Like I
Yeah,
don't leave the lights on. Like
yeah, I
I
can't
don't
sleep
sleep
with
with the
lights on.
lights on, and they're cool with that.
Oh
But
yeah,
like,
Teresa, yeah, I have never went to a Bernina dealer out here. I know the best Bernina dealers are actually in Canada. See, I know that weirdly for a fact because when I went to Canada once, and that's where I actually got my Bernina. Um, so they'll troubleshoot with me over the phone, and the Canadian ones don't look too kindly on the US because it's like what Bernadette's out here, like I have never had any luck with any Bernina dillers out here, but in all, my machine is, I believe, the 1008. It was last made in 1990. This machine is literally all metal, and I can take out the bobbin case and clean everything and lint it. It's really easy. It just needs to be oiled every single time you do it. That is my baby. That's where I make all my vintage dresses. That's the machine that I make my corsets on. Like, that is whenever the kids are here on summer and they want to watch TV or whatever, I'll put it at the kitchen table and do things. That is my jam. But my favorite machine is my 1541S. I use it just we have a different like relationship, and I could tell like by sounds if it needs to be greased or oiled or the pan needs to be cleaned out. My second one is a 5550N, and it's because I use it the most. In most of my videos, I use this, and then I also like to do it with my linings. I use it with my lining fabric, and then I bring everything over to my big machine and put everything together. And I do like my free arm. I have this idea for a tote that I want to make. I seen somebody's pattern, and I have it. If it gets modified right, it could look like the totes that they sell at Hot Chocolate, or what is that really, really expensive name brand? And it's a Hispanic purse with like all these.
Consuelo,
Yeah, I
Consuela.
haven't. Yes, so this pattern reminds me of the shape of that bag, but not the handles. And I think I have an idea how to modify it, but I'm definitely going to need my 1341 to have that big open where I can sew in a free arm. And I really need to go to Relic, and I want to get the table and the table underneath it because I would love to do some tutorials on the free arm.
Oh yeah, I love Recent Relic. I have every one of her tables.
Oh yeah, Julie. Yeah, my machine's all metal, so there's no warning for when the bobbin's out. There, it's just the bobbin's out. I literally, I think having that machine made it easier for me to go to industrials because that Bernina has no indication. There's no thread. That it's really rudimentary and like very basic. There's like the bobbin winder, the tension for the bobbin winder, and then the threading for your machine. There is no beeping. I'm always secretly jealous. I was watching someone having a tutorial on the industrial that is computerized, and I was like,
I almost got that.
I told Kendall was like, "There's no more room for machines, Shinova," and I'm like,
I have one
"But
of my industrial machines in my bedroom.
ugh, yeah." And you're like, "Let me just sell real quick."
Yeah. Yeah. My husband's like, just get rid of it.
Oh,
I said, I can't. You bought it for my birthday. It's
I
special.
Yeah, Lauren has a special hearing thing because I can't hear. I cannot tell you when my bobbin's about to go out. I have a feeling. I do get a feeling. Okay, it's kind of like baking. If there's any bakers in here, you know, if you walk away, all of a sudden you get this weird feeling like, oh my god, the food's gonna be the muffins are gonna be done in 3 minutes. I need to take my butt back over there and take these out and let them cool down. It's a feeling I get, and you'll hear me saying, I think my bobbin's about to go out, and like 7 sessions later, it does it. But there's no it would be cool to have a sensor, like something if somebody wanted to make it like an add-on, like where when you do the speed reducer, that it can also be a sensor for your bobbin. That would be like, see,
That'll be so nice because I always lose. I always
like
lose.
I lose bobbin wars way too much. And I'm not a person that winds a lot of bobbins. Like two's the most, and then you know what messes me up? Two is perfect for 70 weight, but 90 weight, no. and
Yeah,
I want, I
you know me, I overwind bobbins.
I want I know Sunny Stoves has like Tex 120 and thicker threads, and I want to try these so much because my favorite thread, and I tell people this before I do a tutorial on my 1541S, and this is so true. I will do a tutorial completely on my 5550 if I have the thread color. If it's not the right thread color and I have it in industrial, we're going to be doing this on my industrial because I'm a stickler. Your thread to me is your hardware. It is
Mhm.
such a pivotal cut. Like there are some people that want to blend. There's some people that like
Yeah,
contrast.
I
So
spend a
like,
lot of time on picking thread.
oh my god, that will make or break my bag. If I don't have any thread colors that go with the bag, and it's going to be a neutral, I will not sew it. It'll be like you're just. I have to get thread. Like
Um, yes. So I'm sorry. One of those messages popped up. I will have rolls of Sophie's Plus at SME Texas, and I'll have rolls at any of the vending events that I'll be at.
I know, but everyone's
Those sell
excited.
out quickly. The only good thing is that I'm from Austin, Texas, so it's only like a 3-hour drive for us. So I'll be good to go.
I never have used a net on my 1541. I have never I have to use it on my Bernina because my Bernina, even though it doesn't sew as fast as my the industrial, it's that little sucker goes. And so what happened is it'll start the bobbin, I mean the spool start like kind of dancing in its place and then it'll pop off. So that's when I put the net on that one, but I've never
Okay,
used it on my industrial.
that's crazy because I don't use a spool net on mine, and actually I put one on. Like I have them. I have the nets on to like store, like where I put them at, so they don't unravel. But I take them off to put them on my 1541S because my 1541S doesn't like them on. Doesn't like the
My
netting on.
Yeah, my I feel like my 1541S secretly doesn't like 70 because if I put 90 in there, it's like, oh, perfect, beautiful,
That's
gorgeous stitches.
crazy.
I want to. I'm probably gonna see if I can place an order with Sunny Sewing. I want to try some heavier weights and get them in some funky colors that I don't have right now.
Oh,
Like
I'm gonna just letting everybody know. You'll probably if I'm not at my booth, you'll probably find me at Sunny Sewing's booth because I only use Sunny Sewing thread.
Oh, is he gonna bring thread there?
Yeah, they're bringing thread there.
Oh, I'm not buying it until I go there. Then I can just stuff it in my no. You know how I'm about.
I'm seriously like I look on the like website and stuff, and I cannot like. Sometimes I need to see the color, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm excited to go and see the color, so that I can,
What
I'm gonna
color?
buy a lot.
Okay, so out of all your industrial threads, what industrial thread dwindled down is the smallest, the one that you use the most? What color?
That is actually a good question. I would actually need to go see.
Mine's is white.
I think mine's white too. No, mine's black.
I will show you, and you guys are gonna laugh. You're gonna see this.
I gotta move. My work area is not done, so I have to move everything.
Okay. No, that's a bad example. Okay. So these, I think I purchased these from Steve from Sewing Gold. They normally look like this, right? This is Tex 70 and whatever. I bought this white one 3 months ago.
Yeah, but you also sew like a lot.
Dude, when I can't sew, I literally feel like I need a fix. Like, look at this.
Oh my goodness.
This is 3 months. And it's had some loving. It fell down a couple times. No judgment. I have to get more of this, and I want to get Tex 90, but I also want to get a thicker one. But yeah, they normally look like this. This is the color I use for almost everything. Because the contrasting stitching on it, chef kiss.
Let me see. I'm trying to see what
The dusty pink from Kasaya. I have the dusty pink from Kasaya. Oh, that goes with so much. If you want, okay, I always tell people to get white, black, and like a silver or a gray because that's your neutral colors. Damn, you have a whole.
Oh yeah, this is my new drawer I made. So like, because they fit in there perfectly, and I don't have to worry about dust getting on them.
That's perfect.
And then so I have this one, and then I can move it around, like I can pull it out because
Yeah.
weird.
So what
like,
color was it?
These are nightstands, and I just like got it and like screwed them together, and then added wheels to it so I can pull it out. And so then I have this other side also I can put. This
Julie,
one's just waiting.
it was a Hulk smash. I want to confirm with you, Julie. Yes, it was a Hulk smash on that one. I know exactly what project it was. It was my husband's leather bag. That was a complete and utter Hulk smash. It fell down. I'm clumsy. Like I already told you, I'm like devastated. My favorite scissors in the whole wide world are LDH. I saved up. I took 10% of each one of my bag sales, and I saved up to get these rainbow iridescent scissors. I love them. I absolutely love them. You can see them in a couple of my video. I use them all the time. They fell not even like off my table. So our tables are what, 2.5 feet on the industrial, maybe 2 feet.
Mm-hmm.
It fell and the handle popped, clean, split in half. I went to the scissor guy and Joanne's. He's like, you would need to have someone weld that, but then the scissors could be compromised like every time you try to cut. So I call back LDH and they're like, yeah, that's not covered. Those scissors cost like $60 and like an additional amount to ship from Canada. So now I'm saving again. Those are my favorite scissors. I know everyone says Kai, Ginger, but there's something about those scissors. I'm so devastated that they're broken. Like I cannot find any scissors that are comparable to that.
Oh my gosh. Did you see what So Terry said? You tell me this all the time.
Oh yeah, dude, you don't want to see. I'm gonna fire her out here, just organize her room. Probably leave her with Hope.
I can show you. Let me show you. I am pretty excited about this part though of my sewing room because I completely redid everything. I even rebuilt my cutting table. But my favorite thing is, let me just put this away. Okay, so I'll turn it around. It's still kind of a mess. But this is how I store my patterns now. Also here, perfect. This is a
I'm in Maryland. Whoop whoop. Sorry.
this is stew oh my gosh, I cannot talk.
For the
A
short vinyls.
stew oh my gosh, shoes. You store shoes in it. Oh my, I could not say that. My brain is
Oh,
not working. It's a cubby for shoes. Anyways, so I just turned it upside down and used that for putting my vinyl in the rolled up one so I could see it. But my favorite thing is this here. Like being able to just like grab all my patterns. Like they're all just like hanging on this little wall thing there. That's my favorite. So finally got them hung up, but I still have a lot of patterns that I have to put up. Just because it's just because like with I like to, when I print out the pattern, I print double so that it's one whole piece because I use a lot of leather. So I just like it. It's easier than folding, and because I'm not the best at folding and cutting. So, and then it was hard to like find a good place to, store those. And so finally I was like, oh, I'm just going to grab like this like closet thing and I can use that. So
I think you're very creative when it comes down to storage and how to store things, and it's very inspiring. Um, all of my what I showed you guys yesterday, all of my patterns are stored in some kind of folder, and that's what I gave you guys and who's coming to Just So Magical, because if I just see it and I have my pattern pieces, it's easier for me to do. And they have like a little label on the side that you just slide in and out. So I'll write down what that pattern piece is, and that's how I store it. If it is a heavier volume of instructions, let's not fake the funk. We have a lot of people that have over 50 pages. I'll give you an example.
oh,
So
any of the is it Maggie 55? Any of her
oh my
patterns?
God, Maggie! Yeah, Maggie 55 is like a Bible, but it's worth it. Just it's like
Oh yeah,
completely
for
worth.
sure.
Like if you guys don't own a Maggie 55 pattern, buy one. You will her instructional videos. You're like, I don't even care if I do this pattern. You learn so much. You learn so much.
Yes.
But I'll give
So
you.
this is how I do mine. I bind mine. I used to put them in folders, but I found that like with the folders, it cuts off some of like it has like a little margin, and it would cut off some of the instructions. So I just bind them now.
See, I need to do something. What I do, I hold on. So every year my kids get get folders from the school binders, and then they don't want them again at the end of the year. So I like you see Loki ate this one. I'm not going to throw it away. I paid money for this. It's
Right?
still usable. So like if it's a bigger pattern that has a lot of instructions and a lot of pattern pieces like this, like knotted threads, this is a very detail oriented pattern. I have it like this, and I'll put like on the side knotted threads and just put it away with all the other little folders.
So
So
um yeah.
I
Sorry.
want to bind my Ora Rosa ones and my lavender and twine ones so bad.
Somebody asked a question about interfacing storage, so I'm going to show them kind of what I do. But my room is not completely done yet, so I had to move some things around.
That okay. So the zip around wallet for Maggie 55, I have made. I even have templates. I have made numerous times. That is a great seller. It is a fantastic seller. And once you start exploring with the craft text and the foam that they ask, the soap, the padding for the dishes, you will like it will change your mind when it comes down to interfacing. Because like the bag I showed you guys a couple of days ago, the range backpack, if you go into Noodlehead, everybody else's backpack is kind of, soft and could collapse on itself. By just adding fleece in some areas and foam in some areas, that bag is stand on its own. You can still roll top it, and it looks like a whole different bag because of it. I know. I
Okay.
use CraftX in every single wallet now that I make, like every wallet.
So this is how I store my interfacing. This is just the interfacing for like that I use. And okay, I don't want people to feel like you need to go out and buy the most, buy the IKEA stuff. I'm gonna let you know a lot of my stuff that I have for my workroom is literally stuff I like. It's pieced together from stuff I either got on my buy nothing groups, or so I got them for like free, or that I got off of Facebook Market for like super cheap. So like I have um these are really deep bookshelves, I guess, from IKEA that somebody was selling, and they were like, I think I got them for like $15, and
Mhm.
so I got two of them, and so that's what I use, to store my interfacing, like my actual interfacing. But then also what I use for my scraps here, this is what I use for my scraps. So like this is my soap use plus, this is my like soap use, and then this is like
That's
my
so
Decavo light,
smart.
Decavo heavy.
That's so smart. I
But as
use
you
this
can
really
see, I
old.
don't use a lot of.
That's so smart because then it's easy in your eyes when you're trying to do something and you might need a little piece. It's like right there, so you're not going
Yes.
to forget
And
about it.
so I typically always go to like my pieces first, because when I used to cut interfacing myself, I would any of the leftover scraps, like if it was like, a foot or like it was 2 feet, I would just throw it in the bin, and that's what I would use for my interfacing. I use a lot of Sophie's Plus, really. So I mean, you can see I hardly have any Decavo light anymore. But yeah, that's how I just store it in this, like, in there. And then I guess also like I can kind of show you how I organize. If you So this is how I organize for like my actual like orders, um like inventory is in these like really big like garbage cans, and so I have them kind of everywhere for that. And then my bigger interfacing, so these are like,
It's funny, so Terry. Those boxes are big, so
so and then for my um
leather.
leather, this isn't even all of them, but like I have this little crate here, but I just cut like it's like a 44-inch box, and I just cut it in half, and then I tape the bottom, and then I put my in
That
there.
makes sense. That's good.
I also have all that, so there's still so much more I have to do.
You organize really well. Kendall organizes for me. I organize all my fabric on some people on little boards, and then I like have them in bookshelves. I have two bookshelves that are massively heavy that when we were taking them down, like Kendall and I were sore for 2 days afterwards. The guy was like, "Oh, we're moving. I don't need these. Do you want them?" He's like, "You know what? My wife's been wanting bookshelves. They are super heavy. They have this really cool Canadian brand burnt in the back of them. They're 100% wood. They're like no fake wood.
Oh
That
yeah,
was a struggle. If you guys see me and Kendall take these bookshelves will never leave. They're going to be part of the infrastructure of the structure of the house.
that is so funny.
I don't. I've never seen bookshelves that heavy.
Yeah, Miko always hates having to like come help me, hates to like have me to come help me with my workroom, because I like move my workroom around. Like when I get so Nova knows this. When she knows that when I start organizing my workroom, I will like we probably won't talk for a while until like I get it right, because that's all that's on my brain. Like
Yeah,
I'm just like, and I
super
move my
focused.
room around so much. Like this here, like it took me forever to figure out how to store my hardware. This is like my personal hardware for like books and stuff, or
Oh,
books for bags. And so I just like store them in here,
no,
like
so
cooler.
Terry, that's smart. Those Pringle cans are for real, really good to things. Just I used to store my son's Connects and Hot Wheels in them. I would like wipe them all down, rinse them all out, and then stick things in them, let them like dry. And then what I used to do is like I would put like white paper over them and let them glue and just let him draw whatever. I make piggy banks with them. No judgment here. I believe in repurposing 100%.
I'm the same way.
You need to repurpose. It's you're doing helpful for the environment, less waste, and you're opening up your creative walls and going for it. That's why I use bookcases. Like when when I had another sewist come in here because they needed a repair, and they came down to my room. They're like, "One, your room looks like what any gamer or any fantasy person would want because there's all shelves all across the top, and they have like Jack Skeleton, um, all Disney stuff. I have my lightsabers up and my black saber, which is my pride and joy. Um, and then I have the fabric. The fabric are on these bookshelves, and they're like clipped down and they're organized. Usually, Hope she's more OCD than Kindle is. So what she'll do is she'll come in here, and she will like organize my fabric based off of each genre. So she'll put all the Lords of the Ring fabric together, all of like the dice fabric, and like put them side by side. And then when I unorganize them, she gets mad and then she redoes it. Or like no spoilers because I want you, but like the blurb, I as soon as I showed her that I had it, she went into the top of my drawer, pulled out all of my logo, my labels, and she's the one that filled this, not me. Not
That's
me.
pretty cool.
By the way, I gotta give props to them on this. One, I love originality. My whole thing is that I like to see other sewers and sewing influencers grow. And here is why and then I'll get off my political box. You go on YouTube and look at where sewists are, like in the grand spectrum theme, we're not even 1%. So like you have people that do vlogs about their life, makeup, art, even crocheting, which is really weird. Crocheting, true crime, they get sponsors. They get sponsors from like um games, and they're not even games. Like true crime people will get sponsors for like games, like play Candy Crush, and they'll get what is the one fresh food like fresh foods or something like that where they deliver the thing. There's all these different sponsors that they get. When you look at people that have tons of a huge following like Jess, you never get to see any of her videos saying, "Yeah, I'm getting sponsored by this game or this Audibles," or because Audible sponsors like almost everybody on freaking YouTube. 'Cause- and we and if they listen to us when all so is talk, we all say listen to TV, music, Audibles, podcasts. So all these people get sponsorships. Nobody in the sewing world gets sponsorships at all except Mimi, but she's like one of the head vice presidents of Vogue now. I'm a cult. I apologize. So of course she's gonna get like her things sponsored. So I am one of these people that when I see people like Jess Oakley or Lauren or Sally Tomatoes, and they're like getting sponsors from sewing machine companies or different things, I'm like out here rooting for them because as sewing as an art is very small. It's really small. For every true crime person, there's for every one true crime person, there's like nothing. We're not even on the same radar as them. So I love when I see like Lauren collaborating with two other people to make the blurb. And some of us don't use them, but some of us do use the sewing labels because they're funny and they're cute. And if you go into my shop, if you go into my reviews, my two Lord of the Ring bags, the person when they're able to take a picture on Etsy of what they like, they pull it down and they're like, they just made this hobbit happy. They love these themes. So like when I see them all working together and making a new product that we all could like and we're supporting them, it makes me extremely happy. Because we're it's just
Am
it's
I?
something that I don't yeah, we don't see a lot.
Um,
Yeah, we are tighter knit and we're less competitive. You're absolutely right. Um, it's crazy though, but look, because I listen to a lot of things on true, like I listen to a lot of true crime, and then there's this podcast on Never Ending Story, like as like Atreyu grows up and whatever, and he was HelloFresh. He had HelloFresh sponsorship and I forgot the other one. And I'm like, this has nothing to do with that. And I'm like, they were not. When I looked at the demographics for sewing on for YouTube, we're not even. in like the top 100. Like, and there are a lot of creative sewists out there. So I don't know. I'm really big on that. I think that we all should be supportive of one another and try to support where we can. I don't see you anymore, Monica.
I
But I
know.
think
I don't know what's going on.
I hear
Can you
I
hear me?
hear you. I hear
Okay.
you.
I don't. I got a phone call on my phone, and that this happened. So I don't. And I don't know how to fix it, and I don't want to touch anything because I'll end up like, you know.
Yeah, NordVPN, big sponsor. HelloFresh, Audible, um, Candy Crush, like all of these people get sponsors and it has nothing to do with their content. And I'm like, I'm waiting for the day that like Jess, Lauren, or Brandy, or any of these so Kasaya are like, oh yeah, HelloFresh is sponsoring this. I literally will cry happy tears for them because somebody's recognizing our talents. Somebody is wanting to pay them just for an advertisement. Think about it. Think about how much people pay for advertisements for the Super Bowl. If the content is just football, that's it. And so even quilters, yes, like I watch so many other quilters and I'm like, come on, why isn't one person sponsoring them? Like, what really, the reason why I really got to my head was there are true crime people that don't even have 100K followers, right? I think Jessica Roots is like over 150K. Why doesn't she not have one sponsor? Just one. And right now, and not to capitalize on her situation, she's been speaking about mental health. One of the biggest sponsors right now is Cerebral. On it's because it's like you get you need to talk to a therapist off of what your needs are, and they can meet with you on one-on-one. I see the Cerebral advertisements every single time, and I'm like, Jess can get the help that she wants, help other people, and get, promoted and paid to do a video. It drives me nuts. Like this is that has been my pet peeve since 2022 when I'm like watching all these other content people that have less views than the people in the sewing world, and they're not getting paid for, like, I mean, they're getting paid through YouTube, but it's not as much as people think it is. And YouTube takes what? How much does YouTube take, Monica?
No idea,
20?
to be honest.
I think it's like 20% or 20 or 30, 20, 25. It's between 20 and 30%. So I'm just saying that. So if someone's watching this, that's a big of their brother, Janome, Juki, start sponsoring some of these people.
Yeah.
To start.
Yeah, that is true, and that would be nice to see.
Yeah. Just
Um. Sorry, Julie. She said something about she said she wanted to find a way to hang interfacing on rolls, and I will tell you a good way to hang it, because this is kind of what I did when we were cutting, because the size rolls that I shipped out are the same size that I was cutting off of. You can actually go to Lowe's, and Lowe's has dowels that will fit inside the hole that you have for the that it comes on. So what I would do is, like, when you finish a roll, you have that like tube, the cardboard tube. I would just like cut a piece and then go to Lowe's, see what dowel fits inside, and then you can put it in, and you can get the hanging racks for closets, and they have the little hooks, and you can just hook the dowel onto there, and then you can just pull it onto your cutting table. Um, so and it will just roll, but you don't have to worry about it falling off. And like I hope you know which ones I'm talking about for the closet racks. They're like white.
I was gonna
They're like
make a
white
hand
metal,
gesture.
like triangle. They're like triangle. They're not anything fancy, but you can just like screw them onto to the legs of your cutting table. I guess depending on how. This tear
Julie,
coming.
you make me laugh.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Yes. Oh my, I actually I'm kind of mad at NordVPN. We use a lot of software. We have to download a lot of patterns. I'm just saying, and then we're on top of it. most of us are if you're doing YouTube or FaceTiming, whatever, having a VPN is awesome because then we won't have those weird advertisements in our Facebook or Google. Because I guarantee you, I'm going to see Croc shoes. Monica showed me her new Croc shoes, and I was like, "Ooh,
Oh
I
my
want a new
gosh,
pair.
yes. I
I
wish I
want a
could show
new."
you. I don't know what happened to
I
my
don't.
thing.
I don't. She doesn't know
I'll,
what happened to her camera. That's
I
why I
don't
was
know.
like doing
And
the
I don't want
hand
to post
symbols.
anything because I
I don't.
know I will like mess it up. So, but I'll post a picture in like my Facebook group or something, or I'll post them on in the community section of my YouTube for those
Yes,
who watch the video.
you should do it on both, just in case someone doesn't see it on. Just post it into others. Yeah. Yeah, oh, so Ginny, when our whole family was like plagued with the flu and strep throat in November, and I refuse. Okay, so you know how they have those in the cleaning supply section? They're boxes that you put on, like you could just hang on a rack, and you could pull down paper towels. I was like, Kendall, those boxes are like wasteful for the environment because you can't refill them. You just throw them away or recycle them. So Kendall got a dowel, put a chain in it, and built like this hook thing that you could take on and off for paper towels, because when you have the flu, you don't want everybody to go wash their hands and then like use the same towel, because you're like, what if they sneeze at the same time? And kids are gross. Kids are
Oh yeah,
kids are disgusting. They're just absolutely, they do the weirdest stuff, i.e. my kid biting a dog in his face, and like he just ate kibble.
yeah. My kids are the same way. I'm just like,
She like so anyways, he did the dowel thing with a chain, and like I was so happy with it that I refused to take it down. I know it's like really rudimentary, but it works because we buy you buy paper towels, and you could buy paper towels without the roll inside, and we just like stuff it in the dowel, and we do that now.
oh, I did
I
not know that you could do that.
You could do it. You could do it with toilet paper too, but I gotta say, the toilet paper one, it's weird. It's like, how like it when you have it on a roll, it just like effortlessly come down, like when you pull the toilet paper
Yeah.
down. With that one, it
Well,
has like this wobble thing because there's no roll.
I must be
It's
really
like,
weird because I take my toilet paper off and then I put it on two fingers and then I unroll it and then and then so I don't really use it on the holder because ours is like you can pull it off. It's just open on one side.
yeah, no. I try to do like, and then I made a mistake. My daughter's really, she's like, her skin is super sensitive, and I bought toilet paper. Somebody was saying that Charmin Rolls duplicate is actually Walmart's brand, and it's better. Like they come from the same manufacturer, the whole 9 yards. Somehow, some way, I got like the lavender smell one on the roll. Everybody hated to use the guest bathroom for a week. They were
Oh
just
my
like,
god,
they were
that
like,
is so
you need
funny.
to give this toilet paper away. It is like heavy smell on it.
We use the Charmin also, but I guess it's like the one that we use is like the red packaging. But
Mhm.
like you said, if you go to other places like HEB, we have an HEB in Texas. If you go to HEB and you go to Walmart, I get the same red packaging and it's literally the same. You can't even
Yeah,
tell the difference.
it's weird. It's really
But the
weird how
price
they
is
do
so
that.
much better.
Yes. The packaging. Oh, like so. Okay, so there's three. There's me, Hope, and Faith. We identify as women, and there's Kendall and Ken, and they identify with males. Whenever Kendall gets toilet paper, he comes in this house with one ply, and the me and the girls go freaking ham. like, you need to go back out, buddy. I don't know what you're doing. And he was
Yep.
like, it saves more on toilet paper. Yeah, it doesn't actually, because when you have to roll multiple times to get a 2-ply or 3-ply, we have an issue that's more ways.
Julie said, "Get out of here with that prison paper." Yes. Oh my gosh. We used to live with my grandparents and they had the one ply and like you get used to it like I'm sorry you're gonna have to like really wrap that around and get it like used a lot
It
and
looks
so
like a
then like
cast.
Yeah, and so then when we got our own place, this was like after like our house had burned down. So like we lived with my grandparents for years, so we kind of got used to that routine. And then we got our own house and we did the red packaging. And my husband kept getting mad because I was using too much toilet paper. And I was like, and so then I would be like, oh, I don't need this much. And so then there's like wads of like toilet paper that I've like, okay, I take off, a couple. And so I was just having to like use off of the, wads that I like overly. So, and yeah,
Yeah,
but
well,
because I don't, and my husband never understands, like, why do you use so much? Like, he's like, you just need 4 pieces and like, you just need to like fold them. And I'm like, okay, um, but what you're using it for is different than what I'm using it for. And I don't like to get pee on my hand. Thank you very much. I'm
no,
like, you don't have that problem, but have you ever had that happen? No.
no. So Swoon's owner is Mrs. H. Mrs. H is Samantha. There has been some interesting people that think they're two different people. They are the same. Just to let you know. Samantha and her sibling L always they always talk about toilet paper. Does do you roll with the toilet paper coming down from the circle or does it come under? And like we have everybody unanimously, we always say down, but like whatever my husband or my son puts toilet rolls on, it comes from behind, and you're just like, this is ludicrous. Why?
Oh my gosh, my husband does the same thing, and I'm like, why? Like, this doesn't make sense. It should be right. I should be able to see it. It should be the first thing I see, and not me looking for the end.
It's like, where is the paper? Okay, so Monica, what is your favorite swoon pattern?
I'd just say the Lynette business bag.
I'd have to say the 80% Betty Bowler, but it's
Oh
tied with
yeah,
Lola. It's kind of tied with Lola. Okay,
oh
so
yeah, the
Lola,
Lola. I also made that one a lot.
what is your favorite Ora Rosa pattern?
Hmm, that's a hard one.
Mine's is
I
the
would
Erica Bowler
probably,
bag.
I guess I would probably have to say the Catalina. I
Yeah,
really like the Catalina because of the shape. I
yeah,
also got
it's
it
a gorgeous
tattooed on
shape.
me, so
Yes, there's that. Okay, your
So
favorite
I
lavender
feel
and
like I have
twine.
to say the Catalina.
Your favorite lavender and twine.
Ooh, man, that one's a hard one. I might have to say the Harris. Is
That's
that what
actually my favorite too. That's tied with the moonwake, but there's something about the Harris, the sides. It's the sides, like, and the
I
fact that
think
most of the pieces look like T-shirts.
I think
Like,
well, I think the problem the I think the thing for me that made it my favorite is when I made it and the color blocking I did with the brown and the green. And like or the like hunter green I used
yeah,
when
it
I
was
made it
very Dooney and
for my
Burke.
test. I
Very.
love yes. And so I think that's why that one because it's my favorite outcome.
Okay, what is your favorite country cow design?
Oh man, that one's hard because she has a lot of good ones.
Yeah, she has a lot of unusual shapes. I would have to say, I'm gonna say the name wrong. So, Joe, if you're watching this, I apologize. The Ojima. I think I've literally made 50 of
I
those
haven't made
bags.
that one. I probably have
You,
to say the Tula J Mini.
oh yeah,
I really
that
like that one.
I'm going to be making I'm making the Ojima in the Patreon group. Obviously not today, as you see the lighting. I usually do to second and the fourth Tuesday. We're making a modification on it, where it has a zipper pocket in the back and turn it into a backpack. But I do have a video on it. I make that bag like literally all the time. I'm to the point now that I don't need the actual pattern to sew it up. Like, I it's a good people like the size. My favorite one that's my favorite bag to make because I know it, but my favorite pattern is the low end because I haven't seen any shape like that before. And then also how do you say the terracotta backpack of hers? It has a tons of pieces, but when you're done with it, you're like, holy ish. It,
Thrown up. I think we all have been there, Julie. I can't tell you how many bags I have that like are not finished because I was just like, forget it.
I'm trying to think of the bag that I struggle the most. I
The
struggled.
the one I struggled the most on, what? I cannot.
Oh my god, you're gonna
I
laugh
struggle
at
a
me.
lot. I struggle a lot on.
The Frankie from Swoon. I had to make that bag twice before I sewed it. And like usually I'm the person like if you sew one Swoon pattern, you could pretty much get the formula. I don't know what it is about that bag. To this day, I have to read every instruction, and it's a very simplistic bag. That bag has been so hard on me that I haven't tried the Sophie, and I keep saying I want to make the Sophie for the summer bag because it's a very cool poolside bag. I Every time I make the Frankie, it sells. But there's something about the closure because it's a turn lock and you either could put the male on the inside and on one side and the female on the out and it turns like this. But to get that slouchy effect, she recommends you putting the male on the opposite side of the outside. You have your female, so this part of the flap turns in. And I don't know why it just literally starts messing with me, and I'm thinking I'm doing something wrong. I don't know. That is my bag that I struggle with, and I'm trying to think. There's a few bags that I'm like, oh my god, and it's some of them are just. I'm trying to think that I think that's my bag. I when I do the NCW, which I'm gonna ask Janelle if I can do a video. I do my NCWs a little bit different. When I first started it, the card slot thing for me did not work. My brain works weird because I'm dyslexic. My brain works weird with numbers sometimes. And for whatever the reason may be, I cannot get the card slot. But then once I got it, I got the template, the template had the marks, so I was able to make sense. But now I do the card slots a little bit different with waterproof canvas. And I should do it and just show you how I do it. And it's less bulk than the regular card slot. So
Hmm.
it was someone had this technique they showed like 2 or 3 years ago, and then I started doing it and tweaking it. That's why I like modifications. So you can make things easier for yourself. The reason why I really like Jo from Country Cow is she sews on a Bernina. I know it died recently though, and she makes some fantastic bags. Her husband has a fabricator that she's been, making different bags on, and those stitches, man, absolutely gorgeous.
I yeah, actually I have not sewn in a while. I don't think I even remember what was the last.
We were on the thing with Susie, and we were all supposed to sew, and I was the only one
Oh
that
my
was
god.
sewing. I finished a whole Camille bag in that whole from like cutting to sewing. That those are I'm my one of my favorite pattern designers. If you're not aware, I've sewn 2 or 3, and I'm going to be sewing her Gabby bag on February. Is Georgia Girl Stitch. She
Yeah, I
makes
do like her bags.
Oh, they look like that Coach, Judy, and Burke. Like I live on a boat and I wear scarves around my hair. And like you're doing this a lot, and you have like a lot of heavy jewelry, and you have this fancy bag. That's Georgia Girl Stitch. She and her patterns are very straightforward. She gives really good directions. She does give alternatives. Like I believe if you updated your cami pattern, she even has alternatives of you using vinyl or cork and showing you how to use it as accents versus leather. So she's one of my favorite patterns to make. Her patterns are just they're not long. She has really good pictures. And only reason why I want to make the Gabbies, I feel like once hopefully I make it, I can see more of it on Facebook and Instagram because that bag is bad, man. Because it has shoulder straps, it turns into a backpack, or you do a crossbody bag, and it's the exact measurements as a carry-on for a plane. I'm like, this is about to be my so magical carry-on. So let's get it done because I want to.
Ooh, that actually jogged my memory on the hardest pattern that I struggled on. The freaking beast. I cannot tell you, I cussed that bag out more times than anything.
Which one?
The traveler bag,
Oh,
the beast.
okay. That bag weirdly is easy to me. So I have an issue where like bags that are supposed to be simplistic, my mind is like, I cannot wrap around it. But you give me something where like this is one of the hardest bags to make. I'm like, challenge accepted. Like, let's go.
No, I was just like, oh my, that bag took me forever.
I
And let me
literally
tell
have made
you,
6 of
I didn't
those.
even finish binding it. I just gave up. I was like, forget it. It's mine. I don't care that there's raw edges in it. I'm
Like,
done.
no, yeah, that bag I feel like the size, I wasn't prepared. Like if you actually see my face in the first video, you will see that I wasn't prepared for the like the size. I know the measurements are the very first thing on the cover. It gives you the measurements in English and it does the metric and the imperial, whatever. They do that. But my mind wasn't like wrapped around the size. So when I put it, I was like, oh, this thing is big. It's knocking everything off my table. Like, but that's one of my favorite bags to make because of the shoe department thing. I don't know what it is. I think like Alexis and like Joe, they're and like Samantha, they're all these designers. They all have like something where they put these crazy ass puzzle pieces together and I get excited and I want to do it. Like the first bag that I made from Sewing with Mrs. H, Sewing by Patterns with Mrs. H was the carpet bag, and then I turned around and the dating day tripper. If you go on her group, you will see that those are the bags I make the most. And like she'll have like a more simplistic bag and I will be struggling. Like one of her free patterns is this bag that I think it's free. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. It's a pouch for makeup brushes or bathroom utensils and you can unzip it and fold it down so it's like a stand. So like if you're on vacation, you have like a stand in your bathroom. I have tried to do that pattern like 6 times. And I'm just like, I'm not, because I'm like, oh, this would be cool when I go to Steel Magical. I can have my little bathroom set. Nope. Yeah, that didn't work. And that's the reason why I'm showing people how to make the persimmon. Because every time I made it with just like the one zipper, one side would have like a small teeth gaping. And I learned to put 2 zippers on it. And when I close it each side, it's perfect. The symmetry's on point, and the bag looks really clean and polished. So that's what we're doing. And or you if you only want one zipper, then you could chase it off, and you'll have the zipper teeth closed, so that way just everything looks even. Yeah, that I because when I first made it, I was like, why is one side like perfect and the other side has like this small, it's like a small gapping.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've sewn something. In my defense, when we did try to sew, I
Yeah,
did try.
you did.
I just did not have anything completed, like cut, and I couldn't find the instruction patterns because my workroom is, a disaster right now. But yeah, so I just sat in chat.
Yeah, I'm really I want to get to when we just were sewing or whatever. I just get into a zone. I'll talk to you and everything, but I'm just sewing. Like it's nonstop. So I can sew and talk to you. It's second nature. I can't watch TV though. I have injured myself several times trying to watch TV, and so I don't know what it is, but audibles is my thing, or I'll call Monica, or I'll just throw it on like a true crime podcast or whatever. I love true crime. Or I'll listen to some fandom stuff like from 80s movies, like how the characters have grown and whatever. I don't have a TV in my workroom.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
she doesn't know what she did to the screen.
yeah, I don't know. I got a phone call and it messed up like the screen, and I don't want to touch it because I'm not tech savvy, so I will end up
Uh,
messing up the entire thing.
yeah, no, well, like sometimes if I'm like if it's not even if it's football season, sometimes if I'm working late, I'll call Kendall and he has like this chair that is like stuffed with all these yoga mats. I have to show you guys later. Like, and he'll sit and have all his devices up. and I'll just, like, talk to him while I'm sewing, or we'll just, like, I don't know, just I don't know. Loki sometimes comes in here. He does not like it in the winter because our floors in the basement are cement. And I put a doggy bed, but he winds up just, shredding it because he's a puppy. So, or he tries to get into a box. That's always hilarious, but that stops me from sewing because I'm watching this huge dog get into like like a medium box. And you're like, why are you trying to get into a whatever? So yeah, I usually have those 2 companions, or, like, Hope comes down during the weekend because if I don't come up for, like, 4 to 5 hours, like, disturbs her. So she's like, "I'm just checking to make sure you're alive." And I'm like, "Okay." I mean, did did you hear a scream or a loud fall? She's like, "Mom." Or, like, if I ever done a live and she's home, she'll chat on the live with you guys. Like, she did it with the Ororosa, Beast. She just That's Hope. Ken comes down to offer me candy because he's a good boy and he knows what's up. And Faith will be like, "Mom, have you ever had this happen? Da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da. Do you think this person's telling the truth or lie?" And like she's like really into like social media things. So like when Megan the Stallion was going to court, like I knew about every single like person talking on the stand and what the defense said because like she was relating to me. I'm like, what actually happened to this person? I have no idea. But that's what Faith comes and tells me about what's going on in hip hop and pop. Or she's like, "Oh my god, did you hear Miley Cyrus song? It's like an answer to Bruno Mars, If I Was Your Man." And I was like, "I haven't, but I'll listen to it because you said that." And she was like, "She's amazing. Look at her work out. I'm gonna start doing things like this because I want arms like my." I don't, like she's really into music right now, so that's what she talks to me about.
Yeah, all my kids come in mainly to ask me to open up cheese sticks, to ask if I will accept their um, requests because they have to like request time to play on like apps.
Mm.
Um, they'll come in to tell me to ask me what I'm doing, even though I already told them what I was doing, and it's pretty obvious. I'm sitting at my sewing machine. They'll come in and be like, "Are you sewing?" No, I'm just sitting at my sewing machine for no reason.
Just dancing and just
Yeah, I'm like, or they'll be like, "Are you recording?" I told you
yeah.
I was recording. I'm at my desk. I'm at my sewing table. You see me sewing. Like, I stopped to talk to you.
No, yeah, they ask questions like that too, or like my kids ask weird questions like Faith was like, "Have you ever sewed with a piece of your hair?" I'm like, "Why would I like what makes
Yeah.
okay." Like just weird stuff. Or just like, "Oh, how do you sew and upholster a couch?" I'm like, "I don't know how to upholster, so I have zero idea." Just weird stuff. Just like really weird, like just weird random things. Like, "Can you take my blanket that I had as a kid and turn it into a sweatshirt?" No, can you? I mean, I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm like, my kids, like,
"Oh,
they decide to, like, that's the time they want to fight and scream. And they're like, I, you could hear all the fighting. Like, they're screaming. Like, I'm like, and I can't, like, get after them. I'm trying to, like, maybe, they'll calm down and no.
no,
They
they don't.
decide to get super loud. I'm
No,
like, I'm always having to apologize. I'm like, I'm sorry if you can hear my kids. They, you know, not
oh,
much I
yeah."
can do.
Because kids, like, they want to it's like they wanna be a part of the situation. Um,
Dang, Julie, I'm gonna have to try to call an upholstery shop.
no,
But
dude,
honestly, I probably
Madeline,
don't
did you
need
see
to.
her poster her, gaming chair?
Who?
Madeline?
Oh yeah, but
Her chair?
so
Holy
pretty. I was like, okay, I tried to upholster a chair, and let me tell you, it did not look like that. It's falling apart, and it's like has like something like the staples didn't, stick, so like it like has a skirt.
Yeah, so, like, my husband wouldn't let me do that because I am prone when I have a staple, like, I visibly see him flinch and hold his breath until I actually staple. I have stapled myself so many times to the point that he's like, just let me staple this for you." Don't worry about it, I got it. And then when
My
I got
husband is
that
a
big I got the big one because of everyone stapling their bags in place, and, like, he was down here when I don't know, there was one bag tutorial, if you listen to it when I staple everything, you can visibly hear him gasp because
oh my
he's
god,
waiting for me to be like, "Oh, I need to cut because I stapled my finger to the bag." So, like,
that is
I'll be back with the Band-Aid. He's like, "Shnova, I don't know if you should have got that bigger staple." I'm like, "But then everyone's stapling and they're asking me to try it." I'm not trying what Joe does. Joe also gets like a doll needle and she'll put all the clips and then she'll like do a running stitch around the whole area. And it actually it's genius if you really think about it. Because then you remove all your clips and just sew around and just cut the string and pull it out. But he seen how big a doll needle is, and he was like, "Hard pass for you, Snow."
that is
So, it's interesting. I love watching how other people construct bags because you can learn so much. Like, somebody in one group had the purple glue, it's called tacky, it's like a glue stick. She glue sticked her binding, like, all before she placed it on, and so when she was placing it on and clipping it, there's no shifting, no movement, and I was like,
oh, it's nice.
"I might have to try that." Just saying.
Oh my goodness. So, what are your plans for today?
I wanted to actually do a video and sew, but my room is black. As you can see, the lights didn't flicker back
Oh,
on.
yeah.
So I'm going to probably organize some more and I maybe just take a day off until Kendall comes home and I might sew later at night or
See,
I don't know.
that's what we're gonna do because McKendrick has his appointment for his femur. We have to go see the orthopedic.
Mhm.
So that's what our plans are gonna be too. My mom's here, but um, he's definitely milking this. He is at this point he has lost all patience that I have for him because he'll be like he'll be crying like it's a fake cry. Obviously, it's not real tears, and I'll be like, "What's wrong?" Like I run into the room, and he was like, "I dropped my headphones," and they're literally within reach. They just fell off. Like he could just reach and grab them, but he chooses not to. But yesterday, I watched him. He pulled himself up into a sitting position on the bed, and I was like, "So you're telling me that you can sit yourself up,
You're like, "You're
but
faking."
you cannot grab your headphones?" That
Oh yeah. Kids do crazy stuff. When Hope had the flu and strep throat, I was like legitimately waiting on her hand and foot. And she's like, "Mom, I just don't have the energy. I'm so sleepy." So I went to go take a shower and I thought I heard something. So why did I have shampoo in my hair? I throw in my robe and it's Hope doing like dance, dance revolution. And I'm like,
look,
she's
I'm
like, I had a
telling
spurt of
you,
energy.
I'm telling you, this child is the one that like is literally gonna give me gray hair. He's 100% my mini me. But I'm like, just when I thought I was gonna have a little bit of a break because you're not gonna be bouncing off the walls, like now
No.
you're just like you like are like hold like watch bet like I can and now I'm like I cannot wait until he is out of this cast and can walk so he can go and get his own juice pouches and pick up his own headphones.
Julie, that is an undercover secret that no ever that's where Kindle gets most of my leather. When they're especially I hate to say this because it's weird, but it's happening. If there's an upholstery shop or if there's a car upholstery shop, a boating, and they're going out of business, they sell remnants for like nothing. There was a Harvey's furniture, it's a upscale furniture place out here, and they were going out of business, and they did leather repair there. I was able to get so much leather for like $50, like in the back of my car. But the only downside is this, and I'm giving you fair warning: if your bag looks amazing, people are going to ask you where you got it, and they're not going to be satisfied that I got it off of remnant, off of local, like the the leather purse with the iridescent one, people are so mad that I'm like, Kendall gave it to me as a gift. He thinks it's from Springfield, but I 100% don't think it is because when I looked on Springfield, I didn't see the leather. I, but that is a secret. If you want to try leather, go to furniture stores, boating, car, um, go to these stores because they have leather there because they have people that work for repairs. You can get massive remnants for like nothing, and it's local, and they're willing to give it to you because they're going to throw it away.
Look, I think the only thing saving my husband from this headache of me somehow getting a bunch of more remnants to put into my workroom is that I don't like calling strangers. I don't answer my phone.
You're
Like
like,
my husband always tells people like don't like medical people like when we do the kids stuff like you just call me because I won't like I have my husband call everybody for me. Anyway, so I know if I'm be like, hey, can you call this upholstery store to he won't do it. And I'm not gonna do it either. So
I
here I
totally get that,
am.
Julie. Julie's saying the same thing as you. Well, I live in Maryland. I live in Columbia, Maryland. Baltimore is about 45 minutes away from me, and Baltimore is where all the boats dock, and it's a huge thing. So one day I was at a convention and I was selling bags, and someone was like, "Well, do you do in leather?" I'm like, "Oh, I can't find any place to do leather here." And they were like, "Have you heard of Sellrite?" And then I went to Sellrite, and Sellrite has a whole bunch of cool leathers. I mean, faux leathers that are extremely expensive though, but they're unusual colors that you've never seen before. You are paying like 25 or $30 for it, but realistically, when I look at some of these stores that we're getting from smaller people, we're getting paying 19 or 18 or $24 a roll, and you're getting a full yard like 36 by 54 this. So I started getting stuff from Sellrite. So when I was talking to Sellrite person, he was like, "Is there a boating place?" And I was like, I live in Maryland. Yeah, there's tons of boating areas. He was like, "Go to um find a boating place that does upholstery." He's like, "Most boat shops do upholstery because of people living on yachts and whatever." I went to one and I scored on leather remnants, vinyls. I told them what I did, and I asked them. They're like, "Yeah, if we could take your number down, if we have extra, we'll call you."
Oh, that's nice.
So like some I because I get a lot like, "Can I see? Where did you get this?" And I'm like, it's hard to explain to people in one little synopsis because a lot of people don't want to read. You could
Yep.
find remnant leather and or vinyl at a boating shop and car shops. Oh my god, car shops have so many things. Their foam in the car shops, like people are trying to figure out how did I get that deep V in the back of that bag, and it was car foam versus foam that we get from like Anti-Soft and Stable or Shape Flex, and it was a little bit more dense and it compressed better. It's the same thickness as 1/4 of an inch, but it compressed better. Like when you pinched your fingers down onto the foam, it took a minute for it to fluff back up. So I was like, holy moly, this might be the holy grail for quilting with vinyl and getting that real puffy effect for me. Because I've always been kind of jealous of Monica's, like when her vinyl for the Lola was quilted, it was so puffy and mine didn't look puffy. So I just found out that certain foams, like headliner foams, are just a little bit more dense than like Shape Flex and Anti-Soft and Stable, therefore gives the vinyl a more puffier effect. As well, when I talked to the car upholstery guy, he said if you're working with like faux leather, if it has a stretch, it puffs out better if than it would marine vinyl. Had no idea, and I learned that from a car upholsterer. You never know where we're gonna learn information from. So
Mhm. Yeah.
like like the guy, there's a huge person out here that does the Texas shoes. Like he's from Texas and he makes all these cowboy boots and belts, and he has like this really cool industrial thing, and he has like so many tips and tricks, and I'm like, this is amazing. I never even thought of that. Um yeah, you just learn different things from different people and you just absorb it.
Hmm. Let's see.
Sorry.
Are you talking about the invisibility cloak?
I never knew. I've always wanted to have one, Monica.
I know.
Sorry.
I was like, oh, Shanova's gonna love that.
I was like, I just seen it. That's what I was loving. Yeah, she's the cloak of invisibility. No, but yeah, carpal foam, like that is my go-to for quilting. Everyone has different things. Like I actually really love that video on Jess because in my mind, and it's nothing against her, nothing. In my mind, Jess is perfect. She's beautiful. She has a really happy personality. She's super fit and like she's so energetic. She's like this energetic that makes it's contagious.
Mhm.
You're actually like, oh my God, yeah, let's make this, do it. And I'm like, I can't be like that. I'm like totally Wednesday and I'm sarcastic as heck, and I'm kind of dark compared to her, like not physically, but like in sense of humor. So, like I told you, her opening up about mental depression and being sad, and her not wanting to talk about if her son was or her child was sick or not because she didn't want to jinx it. I literally connected with her because this is what I feel like sometimes, and I don't know how to describe it. Um, I think Lauren said something the best. If you're going to get an industrial machine, get a free arm before you get a flat table. Because what happens is that you're so accustomed to sewing on this flat table that the free arm kind of freaks you out and you're going to mess up a lot. Um, it's the same thing. She's used to working on her Bernina, and her Bernina is computerized. It cuts threads. You could pick the stitch length. Like everything's computerized. It gives you bobbin warning, whatever. That is a beautiful machine. I always secretly want to own one of the Tula Pink ones. And I wanted it to be signed by Tula Pink, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I'll never use it. It'll just be on my shelf, like right up here.
Decoration.
Like I got it. It's, um, so I feel like it's a learning curve and she's going to get it. I guarantee you, if Jess practices a little bit each day, she will get it. She's very, very smart. I feel like she's not in the right headspace to take in the learning right now. But I feel like when she gets back to her happy zone, she's gonna kill it. It's just comfort. It's complete and utter comfort. I sometimes look at I have to get I should be signing up for the leather thing from Monica. I have a Skyver. I use it and I get so nervous every time. It is because I'm a clumsy person and I'm always I'm naturally clumsy. I feel like we should be self-aware of what we are. I'm clumsy. I like to fall over my shadow. I told you I fell upstairs like 20 times, going upstairs with
Yeah.
carpet like 20 times. And I broke my hip one time of it. I have a nice middle rod in my left leg. I'm clumsy, so I'm afraid of it. But what I need to do is get in that headspace where you're not going to be afraid. You need to practice. You're going to fail, and then eventually it's going to be just right.
Yep.
It's
I am like that's how I am. I learn by being hands-on, visual as well. So I'm always like I have to do it. Like, like in order for me to learn, I have to do it. And so, I do. I mean, I experiment. You learn by just trying.
Yeah. High five to you, Julie, because we're in Falling Upstairs Club. When you tell people, when I told the orthopedic person that, he looked at me for like hours, and because they automatically want to like blame, are you in a abusive relationship? And I was like, there's no bruises on my body. If anyone would be the abuser, it would probably be me because I go off. I'm like, I go to 0 to 100 real quick. I literally saved King Kid's life. He was 2 years old. Everybody's at work. Everyone's at school. He was walking up the stairs and he was like, "Mommy, I can fly," and just jumped. So as I pushed him forward onto the top landing of the stairs, I fell forward and I couldn't catch myself falling back. And I fell down the whole stairs. And that was the most scary, terrifying thing. And this is how I knew my son was a genius, right? He's like, "Mommy, you're hurting. There's blood coming out of your nose. he was able to do he remembered my finger passcode to get in my phone, and he called his dad. He just turned 2 and he was like, "Daddy, mommy fell." And Kendall was like, "Okay, baby, I'm gonna be there. I need you to go downstairs and get the dogs to go downstairs, and then you close them so that way when people come and help mommy, they're not afraid of the dogs." And so he did that. He was able to open up the basement door, go downstairs. The dogs followed him. He ran up the stairs, closed the stairs, and he was on the phone with the whole time. And I was completely unconscious.
Oh wow.
I fell and I was at the landing, and I had one leg going forward, and the left was like I was doing the splits in an unnatural way. And yeah, I broke my hip. I had to go. I have like a nice little 2 scar, but I had to get surgery. Um, I had to get surgery, and I have a metal rod in my hip flexor, and I can feel it when it's about to snow. So super awesome.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
always the worst.
so great.
I have a metal plate in my hand, and
Yeah.
the cold is
Why
the
why
worst.
don't they warn you about that? Like, hey, dude, you're gonna get arthritis when something weird in the weather is going on.
It's the worst.
Super not ready. Breaking
Yeah.
your wrist in the snow. Ooh. Oh, digging out the snow. Yeah, I can see that. I busted my face. Okay, so I was pregnant with Kendall, and there was like it iced over in Maryland, and where we lived in before it had like a weird V trench with the grasses, so the water level it flooded over there all the time. So Kendall and his majestic butt can walk across the ice. Doesn't look like he's struggling at all. I'm like, okay, maybe it's not that bad. I walked out, closed the gate, I slid, caught a tree, then bust my face on the ice. Hope was perfectly okay because my first instinct is to cover my belly because I'm pregnant, but not put my hands down so that my face doesn't get busted. Oh man, I looked wrecked for like a week and a half, and I was like, I just would side-eyed him. He was like, "I should have took your hand. I'm so sorry. I just thought about warming up the car before you got in." And he's like, "I'm so sorry." He felt so bad because he likes to either cool down the car or warm up the car before I get in. We had an older car. We had a Jeep Cherokee, like 1992. All of our cars are older. We just got our first new to us car like 2 years ago, and it has where you warm up the seats or turn on the air conditioning, and that is magic. That is magic. That is magic.
Seat
Now I can
warmers
never
are the best.
whoever designed that, that is like a genius thing. And like you could do it from the inside of your house and it just starts and it's cool. And then if it's hot outside, because the seats are leather, you could start the car and put the AC on like 5 minutes before you go in.
Oh my gosh, yes. I had a Jeep Cherokee that was like fully suited, and it
Oh,
had the steering wheel heating, and I absolutely loved it. But now, van life, so
oh my God.
I can only get the heated seats.
Wait, so you got the kid pulled the pot of hot water on himself and they went to, oh my God.
And then
That
and yes, the cat did it. The dramatic pause, Julie.
Yeah, I totally get it because they have to do that, and because the people are really in this situation, I would actually side eye a doctor or nurse that they didn't ask. To be honest with you, because it's like it's not important to you, like you know what I mean. Like there are a real situation, but yes, that had to be horrible. I also okay, so most of my injuries in the past 17 years are kid related. I was ironing and I just stepped 2 steps away to get the remote because Hope was like, I want to watch something. She's like 3. She decides to pull the iron down and I grabbed it and the iron landed on my bare foot.
Okay, Julie. What Julie said. That's how I feel with my brother, to be honest with you. Like I'm like, how like you're welcome because for like helping you stay alive because strong like survivor of the fittest and it's not you, Marcus.
Oh my gosh,
Um
yes.
because
I feel like I'm my kid's secret guardian angel. Like I have injured myself several times trying to protect them. Like I only had to do the Heimlich once. I feel very proud of this. in the 17 years. And the thing is that made me mad is there was adults all the way around Hope and they can hear her choking. I jumped over the couch, fell on my face, got back up and did the Heimlich and got her to cough up the thing. But my adrenaline was pumping, so I didn't recognize that I fell on the wood over the couch on the wood floor on my face until after my adrenaline went down, and then I realized I had a split eye, my cheek was split open, my half of my face was swollen. My husband was like, he was just like, I don't understand. But he also calls me Wolverine because I get injuries and I heal incredibly fast. I don't know why. My dad's like that, but I heal like I don't have a C-section scar. I had 3 C-sections and not 1 scar.
That's crazy. I
So
I have 5. I have definitely have a scar.
I don't even have I don't even have a scar really on my hip surgery. There's like 2 dots.
No, I'm all my scars. You can see my hip piercings. You know, from poor decisions when you're a young adult.
Well, I have like a lot. So when you know those stupid things on Facebook, like how many piercings, how many tattoos, I have like between these 2 lobes, I have like 13 piercings, but no one ever notices them.
See,
No.
I'm not an ear piercer. Like if I put earrings in, my ears get really they like get irritated. So I just pierced other places. Like, you know, I pierced my nose. I had 2 tongue piercings. One thing I did not pierce was my eyebrow and my lip. And when I say I had 2 tongue piercings, I had 2 tongue piercings at the same time.
Yeah, I don't know how you did that. I remember I took my sister and I
The
was like
tongue is
hard
really
pass.
not that bad.
Her
The hips
tongue
are
like
the worst.
swelled up
The hips are
so
the worst.
bad. And then she was like, I need Listerine. I was like, oh. I was like, mom's gonna get mad at you, and I don't want to be a part of this situation.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not. No, because she did it when she was like 16, turning 17. I kind of
ooh,
got conned into it because I was the adult, and I was like, when mom comes home, I wasn't a part of the situation. I'm out. I'm going back to my apartment.
that's so funny. Yeah,
You deal with
my
her.
I've but because going back on what Julie said about her like 27-year-old, um, no, I'm just gonna tell you just these are the 2 core memories I have of my brother. One was he was maybe 12 or 13 years old. And my dad, you know, he thought he was going to have a really cool father son moment. And so he was going to teach him how to put gas in the car.
Oh shit. I mean, I'm sorry.
And so my dad's like, hey, you're just going to get it and you're going to pull, you know, you're going to get the gas, you're going to put it in and you pull the handle. And then you let the handle go and you're going to put it back once it's filled up. And so then my brother panicked, pulled the gas out of the car with it still spraying, and then sprayed it all over my dad,
Oh my
all
god.
over his clothes and stuff. Oh my god, he's so mad. And so then he put it away, and so then that was that. But the story gets even better because I was not there when that happened. So I was driving at that time, so I drove, you know, to Taco Cabana to meet up with them. And I walk in, I go, what is that smell? Because it smelled like gasoline. And my mom is like behind my dad, like, no, don't, like, you know, like doing the little like stop, look. And then they told us what happened. I was like dying laughing. But yeah. Oh no, we can't hear you. Nope.
Right now?
A little bit.
I wonder if it's
I'm like echoing.
is that better?
No.
No. It's probably I have no idea what it is. I think sometimes my phone just acts a donkey.
It is. Yeah, see, I can faintly hear you, but I'm echoing and it's distracting me.
All right, maybe we pick this up at another time.
Yes. But this is actually a really fun live. We talked for a long time.
See, this is why I told you that we should do the sew Erica Buller back together live.
I know, but you know how I am. It takes me forever to prep a bag.
I know, but people could ask us questions like about it, things that we're selling.
We'll
Like, why
definitely
would
plan it
we could plan
for
it? We'll
sure.
plan a
Once I get
sewing
my
thing.
workroom
Yeah,
completed.
once our workroom's done, we'll plan a sewing thing. We could take a poll in both our community pages, and then we could figure out who has the most, and we can make a bag and just all sew together. So if you have questions about the bag,
Oh, Julie. Yes, we would.
Julie would definitely be a moderator.
Oh my gosh. She has a perfect reply for why nobody can see me.
Yeah, magic book, man. I'm telling you, it's real. Harry Potter. All right. I hope
All right.
everyone has a great day. Stay safe. Don't fall upstairs. And happy sewing.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.